And I think the Midwest is just ripe for an economic populist movement. And that's one of the many reasons why I decided to run. Fight for universal health care, fix the economy so it works for everybody, not just the billionaires or the huge multinational corporations, and then secure our democracy from the special interests and the billionaires that are dictating it right now. And so fight, fix, secure every single day. Look at what Senator Hawley is trying to act as a faux populist down in Missouri because these things are so popular. There is a movement waiting to happen out there. We just have to tap into it. And I think that's one thing that I've been able to do the past few years.
All right, we have an interview for you guys that's special because this person is joining the rebellion. They're a Senate candidate and Rebellion PAC is endorsing them, and they are a true economic populist and running in the state of Iowa. JD Scholten joins us now as the new Rebellion candidate. So super important race. JD has run for office before and done fantastic in a red district. First, welcome, JD.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
No problem. All right, so let's jump in first, and then we'll come back and discuss your career, what you've done in the past, etc. But first, who are you running against, and why are you so excited about this race?
Well, Joni Ernst is the incumbent senator that we're running against, and one of the reasons I jumped in the race is her town hall that went viral, where she said we're all going to die. I firmly believe that we all don't have to die, so billionaires can have a bigger tax break. And when that was going viral, I was on my way to a funeral of a family friend, and being at the funeral, Senator Harkin was there, who actually held that seat before. And it just felt like a calling. And so she gave a horrific apology that was in a cemetery that also went viral. And on that Monday, we just said, you know what, let's do this. And so we launched a campaign. It's been going very exciting so far already. And on day 2, we moved one of the Raiders from it being a safe Republican seat to a lean Republican. So a lot of energy already early on in this campaign.
Yeah, so let's talk about that because Cook Political Report now rates it as likely Republican, which is good movement in the right direction, but still it's red. So how do you plan on winning in a state that is likely red?
Well, right now I would say that people are frustrated at both parties. There's no doubt about that. And if there's one year to compare this to is 2018, and you mentioned a little bit at the beginning, we took a race that Trump won, or a district that Trump won by 27 points and lost by 3 points in 2018, my congressional campaign. We think we can do something similar, and getting out there to the people with the right message every single day and create that movement. And I think the Midwest is just ripe for an economic populist movement. And that's one of the many reasons why I decided to run.
Yeah, and Obama won Iowa at one point. So it's not like Democrats can't win the state. And you've got to get back to what was a winning strategy in Iowa. And look, again, you would know it better. I mean, plus 24, you closed 24 points. That is not something that happens often. That's why you're the leading Democrat in this race to go up against Joni Ernst. And it's wonderful to have a populist as the leading candidate. So let's talk about the mechanics, like the policies with which you're running that you think will resonate with Iowa and give you a chance to pick it back up for the Democrats.
Yeah, so I'm going to name our top 3 that we talk about every single day, where it's fight, fix, secure. And I didn't get these from consultants. I got these from driving around, holding town halls all across Iowa, or the 4th district back in the day. And these are the same things I'm running on now. So fight for universal health care, fix the economy so it works for everybody, not just the billionaires or the huge multinational corporations, and then secure our democracy from the special interests and the billionaires that are dictating it right now. And so fight, fix, secure every single day.
Yeah, and so Rebellion PAC has basically 2 rules. One is you can't take corporate PAC money. And so that goes with the 3rd point that you just mentioned, right?
Yep.
And the other is that when you get in office, you actually have to try to do these things, not like have them as talking points. And then when Democratic leadership says we're not doing any of that, you just go, oh, okay, then I'll just wait another 20 years, right? And the populist plank that is in rebellion pack is similar to what you're talking about here, right? Deliver for the average American, higher wages, lower drug prices by negotiating prices at Medicaid, lower housing prices by banning private equity from buying residential real estate, and no more wars, and get money out of politics, and paid family leave. So now we're told over and over again by cable news, mainstream media, JD, that those will not resonate in a red state, that those are some sort of like radical policies or something. But the polling doesn't indicate that. Do you think that those policies are going to be very popular in Iowa?
Of course they're popular. I mean, the proof is, look at what Senator Hawley is trying to act as a faux populist down in Missouri, because these things are so popular. Now, you have him still voting for what I call the billionaire bailout bill last week, and all Republicans, or almost all Republicans, ended up doing that. And so these things that we're talking about, it's not only the right thing to do, it's the popular thing to do. And I think that's the frustration that's boiling up, is because all this stuff, if it's so popular, why isn't it getting passed? And that's the frustration that I hear from people on a daily basis.
Yeah, and so, all right, but let me ask you, so no corporate PAC money?
Correct.
Okay, great.
No corporate PAC money. We're not accepting any.
And if Chuck Schumer or whoever is the next majority leader in the Senate for the Democrats, if that's how it goes in this election cycle, says, yes, JD, that's all good and fine, but we're not doing paid family leave. We're not doing any of these bills, okay? You have to understand, you have to trust Schumer, okay? That's the right strategy, and so please be a good team player, otherwise we'll tell the media that you're the bad guy that's ruining unity in the Democratic Party. What would be your response?
Well, that's what brought us to this point. You know, when I first got to the voting age and was excited about politics, we had Democrats in North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, and where in the Senate. Where are those? You know, my political heroes, the Paul Wellstones, the Tom Harkins, the Berkeley Bedells. Those are the people who fought for stuff like that, and that's why they're so beloved. You know, even after they're gone. So that's, to me, like it's not about the DC establishment. It's about the people of Iowa. They deserve better. They deserve better than what I feel right now. And the fundamental reason why I decided to run for office is we have a broken healthcare system that I feel is a GoFundMe healthcare system. We have a broken food system that's a broken JBS food system. And we have a broken economy that's a Dollar General economy that's broken.
Yeah, you describe yourself as a baseball playing, Bible reading, working class, proud Prairie populist. And so we're proud of all of our populists on Rebellion. I say we because, obviously I host the Young Turks, but I'm unabashed about my activism and happy to be one of the co-founders of Rebellion. And so we've got Richard Ojeda running in North Carolina 9, Randy Bryce, iron worker, running in Wisconsin 1. You got Ro Khanna, who's already in Congress. And so we got an iron worker, a veteran, really smart, progressive populist in Ro Khanna, and you're a baseball player. So are you, by the way, you're 45, are you still playing baseball?
I am. Luckily, we have an off day tonight, so that's why I'm able to do this. But yeah, playing professional baseball for the Sioux City Explorers and the American Association. And yesterday was the year anniversary of being called on an emergency game where they needed pretty much just an able body. They gave up 34 runs the 2 previous games, and with less than 3 hours notice, they gave me a call, and I pitched 6 2/3, only gave up 2 runs. Stayed with the team the rest of the year and tied for the team lead in wins and went 6-2 as a starter last year.
Damn, you can't stop winning. So we got an iron worker, a veteran, and a baseball player. I love this.
I I love it. But at the same time, I'll be very honest. It's very hard to play professional baseball. It's very hard when you're 45, and it's very hard when you run for U.S. Senate and try to play for professional baseball. But Lord knows we're doing our best.
Well, those are real jobs, okay? And yeah, I mean, it's not like the corporate Wall Street guys that you see all over the Senate, right? You're a real person from Iowa trying to get by, trying to take care of your family. And that's a breath of fresh air.
Well, and I'll also say that right now the Democratic Party is spending $20 million in DC on consultants and focus groups on trying to figure out a message for young men because of how bad the Democratic Party has been the past few cycles on that and the shift that we've seen. Well, I get paid a couple grand a month to talk to my teammates every single day and just to figure out ways that I can welcome them into our coalition. That's my vision of all this. I know in order to win in Iowa, a wave is not going to do enough. We have to welcome people who feel disenfranchised by what's happening out there, and there's plenty of them in order to win. We just have to find a way to welcome them into our coalition.
Yeah, so one of the last things I want to talk to you about was the media reaction, because oftentimes it's media reaction that kills outsider candidates, whether they're populist, progressive, whatever they might be, right? But on the other hand, you're the leading candidate on the Democratic side, so that gives you a lot of credibility. And you closed 24 points in a Republican district before, that gives you a lot of credibility. So I'm genuinely curious, what's the media reaction been so far?
Well, locally, there was an Iowa State professor who went on Iowa Public Radio who said we're the front runner. Nationally, it said there's a couple different things. There's a thing called split ticket, and they do modeling. And they said if I was the nominee, we have a chance at winning. If not, otherwise it'll be a safe Republican seat. And so, I think we've proven ourselves as a campaign year in, year out. I've overperformed the top of the ticket in every single race. And I'm currently in my state house seat last fall. I won a district that Trump won. And so right now I'm the only Democrat in 42 counties in north central and northwestern Iowa. I consider myself a bit of a blueberry in a bowl of tomato soup, but it's not because I lack the values or anything like that. I wear my politics on my sleeve, and I just go out there and tell about folks who I am and welcome them into my coalition.
So JD, why do you think you do so much better in red states than the average Democrat does?
Back in 2018, nobody was talking about some of these issues. A lot of it was agriculture related and antitrust, anti-monopoly, but it's just I went out there and listened to folks. The way that the system is meant, it's not meant for working class people first. I don't know a ton of billionaires or a ton of millionaires to get donations from. We're very small and grassroots when it comes to that type of stuff. And that's part of the why the system doesn't work for everyday Iowans or everyday people. But it's having that message, that resonates with people. I mean, in 2020, when I was running for Congress, I was getting retweeted by people who said they're ranchers and farmers for Trump. There is a movement waiting to happen out there. We just have to tap into it. And I think that's one thing that I've been able to do the past few years.
Yeah, and I have a theory. You're a real person and not like some actor doing corporate talking points and carefully, crafted by the consultants, et cetera. And I'll know you're really about to win when the Ernst team or other parts of media start complaining that you have an unfair advantage. So I think you are gonna win. So I want you to mark my words. At some point, they'll say something like, oh, well, it's not fair. He's playing baseball all across the state, and that gives him an unfair advantage in talking to the voters. Hey, Joni Ernst, what's stopping you? You're the current senator, right? But then last time she talked to the voters, she told them that they're all gonna die.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, so let's end on that. So you're gonna run against Ernst. Obviously that you're all gonna die is a problem for her because the underlying issue is she doesn't really care about your health care. She doesn't care about cutting Medicaid, et cetera. So that's a clear and easy one that you're going to run on. What else are Joni Ernst's Achilles heels that you'll be running against?
I mean, right now, and this isn't being talked about enough, is we have an agriculture, the agriculture economy is in a recession. And so you talk about like Trump coming to Iowa, and he always loves to say, oh, the farmers love me. Well, which farmers? Is it the farmers that he cut their contracts through Doge earlier this year? Is it the row crop farmers who are having to pay more for their inputs because of the tariffs he put on this year unnecessarily? Is it the soybean farmers who have lost their market to Asia, and now that's going down to Brazil, and the same multinational corporations that were selling Iowa soybeans overseas are now down in Brazil selling those to overseas? Or is it the cattle ranchers who have allowed or are watching the Trump administration allow JBS, the world's largest global meat packer, who has had over $256 million in corruption fines, they're being waived by the Corruption Fairness Act, so they can become a publicly traded company in the United States. Why? Coincidentally, they gave $5 million to the inauguration, Trump's inauguration. Like, who are these farmers that quote unquote love Trump? So yeah, I know we're running against Joni Ernst, but this is far beyond just Ernst. This is about Iowans who are not getting a fair deal. This BBB, the billionaire bailout bill, this is going to devastate rural hospitals. This is going to hurt rural nursing homes. This is going to hurt rural OBGYN units. And so that's going to add more stress to our urban centers. And so there's going to be massive impact on all Iowans. And so ultimately, this is beyond just Joni. This is a race to help Iowans get a fair shake.
So JD, since you don't take corporate PAC money, how can people find out more about you and help you?
Yeah, so the biggest thing we're doing right now is fundraising so we can get Sioux City Sioux 2.0, which is our campaign Winnebago, so we can go out to the people. So you can go to ScholtenForIowa.com. That's SCHOLTENFORIOWA.com. And if it's $2, if it's $100, if it's more, whatever, we'll take it. It goes a long ways to help us get Sioux City Sioux back on the road so we can talk to as many people as possible.
All right, we'll put that ScholtenForIowa.com link down below if you're watching this later on YouTube, Facebook, or wherever you watch it. All right, JD Scholten, leading Democratic candidate in that Iowa race that now all of a sudden seems very winnable for the Democrats. Great to have you on the Young Turks, and I am thrilled that you have joined the rebellion.
Thank you so much for having me.